Welcome back to Jackson Square. Today, last but certainly not least, we're going to be learning how to convert percent to fraction and percent to decimal. So let's jump right in. How do I change a percent to a fraction? You write the percent over 100 without the percent sign. Why do I write it over 100? Because 2 days ago, I told you percent means what? Out of 100. So since it means out of 100, I'm definitely going to write it over 100. So here's just a little reminder, out of 100. Let's keep it 100, y'all. Percent means out of 100. So I'm going to write the number, the percent out of 100. So that's going to make it a fraction without the symbol, and then simplify. So that's the easiest thing we can do is simplify. So here's an example. 90%, I would write 90 over 100 because percent means out of 100. And then I would simplify. So I'm going to go on a limb and say the GCF is 10, and I'll get 9/10. So 90% is the same as 9/10. So I want you guys to practice. There's a little challenge problem in here for you. We have 7% and 12.5%. So write these down, pause, practice, write them out of 100, and then simplify. Okay, so 7%. 7% would be 7 out of 100. And hopefully you remember that 7 is prime. So it only has two factors, one in itself. So it's simplified. That's it. 7 out of 100. That was easy, right? The next one is 12 and 5/10, right? Percent. But you're still going to write it with the decimal point. Just drop the percent sign, write it out of 100. So now the hard part is, what do I simplify by? Because they both end in a, one ends in a 5 and the other ends in a 0, I know based on divisibility rules, if it ends in a 5 and 0, it's divisible by 5. So the first thing that I tried was 5. I didn't find the GCF. I just found a CF, a common factor, because this was just kind of like a weird number, right? It's a decimal. When I divide 12.5 times 5, I end up with 2.5 or 2 5/10 out of 20. And then I realized I could divide this again by 2.5. And when I divide it again, I end up with, sorry y'all, I end up with 1 out of 8, or 1/8. Okay, so we should know by now 125 thousandths, 12.5%. Those are the same numbers. 125 is always going to be 1/8. Okay, so 1/8. Did anybody get that one right? Wasn't quite sure. Did anybody do their prime factorization and found that the GCF was whatever it is? Because I don't even know what it is. And did it once and got 1/8? Let me know. So let's jump into percent to decimal. Let me adjust some things here. Zoom out. I'm crooked. There you go. All right, percent to decimal. Number 1, remove the percent sign. Number 2, move the decimal place 2 places to the, this time to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. When you move it to the left, it's like multiplying the decimal number. It's like, dividing the decimal number by 100. So when we move it to the right, it's multiplying. And then we move to the left, it's dividing. So we're dividing by 100. If we were to take these numbers and divide by 100, our decimal point would look like it shifted, or it would shift. It would shift 2 places to the left, okay? So here's an example. We have 80%. So I would take off the percent sign and write 80. And then my decimal point is here. It's behind the 0, okay? Remember that place value, how I had ones place, and then the decimal was behind the ones place? If we don't see it, like in 12.5, right? Then I would move my decimal 2 places, 1, 2, to the left. 2 places to the left, and that would give me 80 hundredths, or you could just leave it as 8 tenths. So a percent to a decimal, 2 places to the left. Okay, I have some practice problems around here for you guys. Here you go. Let's stick them here. 33.3%, 71%, and 5%. Write these down, pause, and practice. How would you convert these percents to decimals? 2 places to the left. There's a Beyonce. To the left, to the left. Find that decimal point and move it to the left. Pause, practice, come back. Back so soon? I know, it was so easy, right? So we're going to jump in here. I'm not going to rewrite it. I'm just going to cheat a little bit. 2 places to the left, 1, 2. So this would become 333 with a bar over the 3, because technically this is a repeating decimal. There should have been a bar over this 3. Repeating decimal. And here, 1, 2. This will become 71 hundredths. And here, decimal point is behind the 5. 1, 2. We need to add a placeholder. This will become 5 hundredths. So hopefully you guys enjoy percent to fraction and percent to decimal. I think percentage is like the easiest of all of them after we've done all the fractions and all the decimals, right? So now let's practice.